Hi there, Katie McLaughlin from Remax Sea to Sky Real Estate. I am here again today to take you through the July numbers and give you a market snapshot of what's been happening this year versus 2019 and see how our market is doing, especially during these uncertain times of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's all to come just after this. Okay, so let's have a look at the detached property category in Squamish and what happened in July 2020. So as far as active listings online on the MLS in July, we had 104 active listings. That number in 2019 was 124. So what that means is that we actually had a decrease of 19.4% of active inventory sitting on the MLS in July of this year as compared to July of 2019. As far as our sales numbers go, we saw a 92.3% increase of sales volume. So that number this year was 25 sales of detached properties in July in Squamish. That number last year was 13. So that's really good news for sellers. Average days on market on the MLS, that number this year was 35 days as compared to 57 in July of 2019, which means we're seeing a 38% decrease in the amount of time sitting on the market in July of 2020. It's really good news yet again for sellers in the detached property range. Okay. As far as the benchmark pricing goes, we saw a 1.3% increase on price point. So in 2019, that number was 980,900. This year, that number is 993,800. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the condominium market in Squamish this year as compared to last year for July. As far as total active listings goes, we had 78 active listings in Squamish. The year before we had 82. So that is almost a 5% decrease of active inventory in Squamish within the condominium range. So as far as sales go, we saw 20 sales in Squamish in the condominiums as compared to 11 of July 2019. So that's almost an 82% increase of sales despite a 5% decrease of inventory. Average days on market this year in July was 35 days. That number in 2019 was 58, which means that listings are sitting on the market 40% shorter, sort of shorter time span than in 2019, which again is really good news for sellers. As far as the benchmark pricing goes for condominiums in 2020 July, that number is 467,200. In 2019, that number was 478,600. So we actually saw a 2.4% decrease in pricing this year. Now I'm going to move across to the townhome variety and give you a snapshot of what that looked like in July 2020 versus July 2019. So as far as total active listings goes, we had 46 active listings in 2020 versus 48 in 2019. So it's a 4.2% decrease this year. Sales, in 2019, we saw 9 sales in July, and this year we saw 20 sales. So we saw a 122% increase of sales volume in July 2020. Incredible. Average days on market for July 2020 was 35 as compared to 29 in 2019. So we actually saw an increase of days on market for townhomes in Squamish throughout July. That number is 20% increase, in fact. As far as the MLS HPI benchmark price goes, we saw a 0.8% decrease in 2020. So that average number for 2020 was 682,400 as compared to 687,900 in 2019. So when you look at these numbers and you're trying to evaluate what this means to Squamish, the local market, and basically looking into the future, what we've been seeing over the last couple of months is pretty consistent. We're seeing less inventory on the market, so less physical listings on the MLS, yet we're seeing a higher increase in sales volume. And in some cases, as for the townhouse range in 2020 July, we saw a 120% increase in that in sales volume there. So that's a really, really good insight into the market, and it's showing that we just continue to see an uptake year over year. In terms of days on market, we're also seeing things selling much quicker, and in some cases almost half the time that it did take in July 2019 to actually move inventory. So again, really good insight into how this market is going and how it's been very, very stable even throughout this pandemic, which is, again, just shows the strength of the Squamish market and why we're so lucky to be able to call this home. Thank you very much for tuning in to this month's market update. If you've got any questions at all, let me know. I'd be happy to send you through the information. Otherwise, leave a comment, like this video. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and also hit the little bell so you'll get notified whenever I have a new video out.